You guys, let me show you how I made this dress for my birthday. Fun fact, I concluded this dress after my birthday. In fact, 6 days after my birthday, because I wasn't feeling well and your girl was just out of it. Anyway, come with me. Let us make this my amazing birthday dress. Okay, let's get into it. So you guys, I'm starting with the skirt part of this blouse, of this gown. I don't know why I'm calling it blouse. Maybe it's hunger, guys. I'm starting with the skirt part of this gown, and my fabric is on a fold already, and I've already gone ahead to also fold in 1 inch for my zip allowance. Now the next thing I went ahead to do was to fold my fabric again. So after folding it again, you can see I have 2 pieces for the front and 2 pieces for the back. Okay, now after doing this, the next thing I went ahead to do is from the middle, I marked my waist at 8 inches and I added 1 extra inch for sewing allowance. Okay, so after doing this, I grabbed my ruler and I connected it to the hem in a slanted form, like in an A-line form. Okay, so after drawing the A-line shape, the next thing I went ahead to do is from the hem I went up by 2 inches. After going up by 2 inches, the next thing I went ahead to do was I curved it into the hemline. Okay, so after curving it into the hemline, I have like this high-low, you know, the way our flag gives us this high-low effect. So that's what I tried to mimic there. After doing this, I just went ahead to cut it out. Now after cutting, I also went ahead to cut the hem, and you guys, this is just the easy way to cut this skirt. Now it's time for the blouse part. So for the blouse, I have my fabric here already, which is already on a fold. Then I went ahead to mark my bust at 8 inches, my nipple point at 10 inches, my under bust point at 14 inches, and the hem there is my half blouse. Now mind you, my under bust point is 9.5 inches, my under bust point is 13.5 inches, and my nipple point is 9.5 inches. But because I'm marking directly on the fabric, I added half an inch to both my nipple point and under bust point, hence why I marked 10 inches and 14 inches respectively. So the first line is my bust point. That line there is my nipple point, which I marked at 10 inches, and that line there is my under bust point, which I marked at 14 inches. So my in between is 8 inches, but because I'm marking directly on the fabric, I marked 4.5 inches at the hem, at the under bust point, and at the nipple point. Okay, at the top, I went ahead to mark 5.5 inches, which is 1 inch difference from my nipple point. So after doing this, I connected all my markings together. After connecting my markings together, the next thing I went ahead to do was at the hem, that point there, I marked 1 inch on both sides. Okay, at my under bust point and at the hem as well, I took 1 inch on both sides, and I did this to shape out my bustier. Okay, so after marking 1 inch on both sides, the next thing I went ahead to do was I connected it to my nipple point with a slanted line. Okay, so I connected it to my nipple point with a slanted line. After connecting it to my nipple point to a slanted line, at the top there, I marked half an inch on both sides. Okay, so after marking half an inch on both sides, I connected everything together. Right now, the next thing I went ahead to do was I extended my tape by 5 inches like I did before, and I came down by 1 inch from my bust point, so that is like 9 inches, and I just drew a straight line. Okay, I drew a straight line. Now after drawing it, I did this because I want to shape in my armhole, because this is an off shoulder bustier. Okay, so from that point, I went ahead to mark my bust point. So my bust point is 9.5 inches, which is what I marked there. Now you guys know we're going to cut that part out, so I just added it back to my bust measurement. Okay, so I also marked my bust measurement at the top as well at 9.5 inches. No, I marked my shoulder point, my shoulder point at 8 inches. Okay, so it's my shoulder point I marked there. So after marking my shoulder point at 8 inches, the next thing I went ahead to do was I added, you see that part, you know we're going to cut it out, I added it back to my shoulder measurement. Okay, which is like 1 inch in between those two places, in between the two, that side. Let me not speak bad English. Okay, so after doing this, next thing I went ahead to do is at my under bust point, I marked my under bust point measurement. Then the distance between those 2 points, I added it back to my measurement Also at my waistline, I marked my waist measurement at 8 inches, and this one between those 2 points, I added it back to my measurement. Now after doing this, the next thing I went ahead to do was to connect all my markings together. After connecting all my markings together, I went ahead to add 2 inches sewing allowance. You guys know when I work with patterns, I add 1 inch, but because I'm cutting directly on my fabric, I always work with 2 inches. Okay, so after connecting together, from the middle I came down by 1.5 inch, and I just curved the sweetheart into the bustier. I didn't really want a deep sweetheart, so hence I came down by 1.5 inch. Okay, so after all this you guys, I went ahead to cut out my off-shoulder bustier. Okay, cutting an off-shoulder bustier is this simple and this easy. You heard it from me. Okay, so after cutting, this is what we have here for the front part of this off-shoulder bustier. This is what it looks like. Now it is time for the back part. So for the back, I went ahead to mark my zip allowance at 1 inch. I don't know why my tongue is twisting in this tutorial, but you guys manage it as it is. I'm still in Nigeria where I have no jackpot. Okay, so after marking my zip allowance, I went ahead to draw a straight line. Now those lines are the lines we had in front: my bust point, my nipple point, my under bust point. And you guys know that for the front, we came down by 1 inch from the bust point so that we can curve in our armhole. Okay, so same thing we did for the front. I marked my shoulder there at 8 inches. After marking my shoulder at 8 inches, from the middle I went ahead to mark my bust at 9.5 inches. So after marking this, the next thing I went ahead to do was I connected my bust point to my shoulder point, and this is where we have a beautiful slant or curve or armhole curve going on here. Now from the middle, I went ahead to mark 4.5 inches for my dart point. I did the same thing at the top. Next thing I went ahead to do was I connected everything together with a straight line. Okay, so after connecting with a straight line, the next thing I went ahead to do here, guys, is at the bottom I marked 1/2 inch on both sides. We're trying to shape the back part of this bustier, and at the top I took 1/2 cm on both sides. I don't know why I like to shape my bustiers like this, but you guys, this is how I shape my bustier for the back part. Now after marking 1/2 cm on both sides, I just connected everything together. See, marking the back is the sweetest. Okay, I connected everything together. I don't know why I was taking my time. Anyway, this is how long it takes me to mark it in real time. Okay, so after connecting, this is what we have here. Now you see the distance between those 2 points. I added it back to my shoulder. Okay, because you know we're going to cut it out, we need everything to be accurate. Then I just curved it back into my armhole. Okay, now at my waist point, I marked my waist measurement. This time between those 2 points, I added it back. That's my under bust point rather. And also at my waist point, I did same thing. At my waistline, I marked my waist measurement, and the distance between those 2 points, I added it back. Okay, that first thing I said is waist, is not waist, it's under bust point. Okay, now after doing this, the next thing I went ahead to do was to connect all my markings together. After connecting all my markings together, I went ahead to add 2 inches sewing allowance. Okay, I added 2 inches sewing allowance. So after adding 2 inches sewing allowance at my bust point, my under bust point, and my waist, I went ahead to connect all my markings together. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Anyways, after singing for you guys, I verified my measurement again because I don't want to cry premium tears. The next thing I went ahead to do was to cut it out. Simple as ABCD, not difficult like mathematics. Okay, so after cutting it out, remember to notch the zip allowance, don't forget. Okay, now it is time to sew. Now I've gone ahead to put forcible interface on this fabric. Okay, now the first thing I went ahead to do was to join my center back to my side back, just like what I'm showing you here. So I aligned everything together, and I'm going to do same thing for the lining. So I took it over to my well-respected sewing machine, and I joined the pieces together. Okay, I did same thing for the lining as well. So this is what we have here after I joined it and gave it a very good press. You want to make sure you iron as you go. Very, very, very important. So I told you I did same thing for the lining. So what I just did was I grabbed the lining piece, placed it on the main fabric, then I just went ahead to join the top. After joining the top, now it's over at my sewing machine. I took it out my sewing machine and I joined it at the top. Now after joining it at the top, I went ahead to top stitch it. All of you that say, stop calling it top stitches. I'll call it top stitch. There's nothing you do to me. So after top stitching, I did this for both parts. Okay, the next thing I went ahead to do was to join it at the zip allowance. If you've been on this channel for a long time, you guys know the drill when it comes to the back part. So after sewing the back part together, this is what we have here. For the armhole and for the hem, I went ahead to use hemming gum to sew them together. Now for the front, this is my center front, and I went ahead to place my side front on my center front and I joined it. Okay, so I'm just showing you guys how I aligned everything together. You want to make sure you mark your underbust point. So I took it over to my sewing machine and I just went ahead to attach the sides to the front, the front side to the center front. You understand what I'm saying? I joined all the pieces of the front part together. Okay, so after joining, I went ahead to make little cuts on the seam so it will be well relaxed, so that our bustier will be well emphasized. I also went ahead to do same thing for the lining. For some funny reason, this lining gave me issues. I do not know why, but anyway, Chukwubueze, God is king. Okay, now after joining the lining, same thing I did. I went ahead to insert my bust cup because I didn't do heavy padding for this particular outfit. If you don't know how to fix your bra cup, I have a detailed tutorial on this channel on how to fix your bra cup, how to position it and do all those good stuff. So after fixing the bra cup, I went ahead to align the lining piece to the main piece of my front bodice. Okay, so after aligning, the next thing I went ahead to do was I just joined the top part of this bustier together. Now the link to the tutorial on how to insert your bra cup is in the description box or the comment section of this video, so check it out. Okay, comment section, I don't know why I'm calling it session. So after joining it, the next thing I went ahead to do was to give it a very neat, beautiful and sweet top stitch. You guys, I want to cough. Okay, I finished coughing. I have a cold. Okay, anyway, so after top stitching, I also went ahead to top stitch the armhole, the sides and the hem, and this is what we have here for the front part of this bustier. Now quickly, the next thing I went ahead to do is at the back part, I marked out my bust measurement, my under bust measurement and my waist measurement, and I just took it over to my sewing machine and I joined the front part of my bustier to the back part of my bustier. Don't worry, a class on bustiers and advanced is coming up soon, so look out for that. Okay, so now this is what the front part, the upper part of this gown looks like. Very simple, very straightforward. Now for the skirt part of this gown, I went ahead to use the lining to turn it over. I turned over the hem, gave it a top stitch, and I used my hemming gum to seal the sides. I also put paper stay, okay, on the lining and on the main fabric. Now I did same thing for the lining and I joined it on the zip allowance. Now at the waistline, I went ahead to mark my waist at 8 inches. I also did same thing for the other side. Okay, I marked my waist, and at the hem I marked like half an inch so that I will properly angle the A line. Okay, which is what I did here. So after marking my measurement at the back part of my skirt, I'm just showing you guys that I'm going to join the two sides. Okay, so I took it over to my sewing machine and I joined the two sides. So this skirt, I didn't really do anything serious. I just turned it over with my lining and I sealed the sides and the top with my hemming gum. I like to reduce stress. Okay, so after joining the skirt, this is what we have here. The next thing I went ahead to do was to use my office pin to secure the blouse part of this gown to the skirt part of this gown. After doing this is what it looks like, guys. The next thing I went ahead to do was I took it over to my sewing machine and I joined it. Now the trick I use for joining my gowns is I join middle to the zip side. and zip side to the middle. I don't like to do zip side, that's end to end. I like to do middle to end. Okay, so after joining, the next thing I went ahead to do was I attached my zip. See, the zip is what I love part in this. Is what I love the most in this gown. I don't know why, but the zip is giving, and I bought it for 400 naira for one. And the quality is top notch. Okay, so you guys, after joining my zip, it took me a while, slow and steady. I haven't had to loosen it and redo it, but anyways, it came out perfect. It came out perfect, guys. This is what the zip looks like. Very beautiful, very lovely. Now it's time for the sleeve, and I went ahead to cut an off shoulder sleeve. Okay, so this fabric is already on a fold. Like I folded it 4 times, you know, when you fold horizontally and vertically. So after doing this, I just extended my tape by 5 inches and I marked my upper arm measurement. Okay, so I extended my tape and I marked my upper arm measurement. After marking it, I went ahead to mark my, see, if you don't know how to calculate how to mark your off shoulder sleeve, I have a detailed tutorial on how to mark it. Okay, on how to do all your off shoulder sleeve that will make it not fall off. I will link that tutorial in the description box, how to calculate and how to mark. So at this blue line here, I marked my upper arm measurement divided by 2, and at the hem I marked the circumference of my sleeve. Okay, I marked circumference of my sleeve and I just connected it to the top. Okay, so after doing this, the next thing I went ahead to do was I used my French curve to curve it in. Okay, so after curving it in, I went ahead to cut. And let me just explain something quickly. What made me get this measurement here is my chest, my overarm measurement, whatever is left of my overarm measurement, I divided it within the 2 sleeves, and this is how I arrived at the width for this sleeve. You will not understand till you check the tutorial that I'm telling you about. Okay, so after cutting the sleeve, this is what it looks like. Now I also went ahead to cut a 360 flared, and I divided the 360 flared into 2 pieces, making it 180 flared for both sides. Okay, if you don't know how to cut a 360 flared, I also have a detailed tutorial here on this channel on how to cut a 360 flared, so also check that in the description box. I have a lot of things, or comment section, I have a lot of things to link up for you guys. So now for my thread, from the top there, I went ahead to mark 10 inches. Okay, because this is where I'm going to pleat. You are meant to do this on the right side of the fabric. Okay, but I'm showing you guys on the wrong side, but later I changed it to the right side. Okay, so I marked 10 inches. Now the length of this flared is 22 inches. Okay, so I marked 10 inches downwards and I just connected everything together. Now after connecting everything together, the next thing I went ahead to do, I want to show you guys one simple trick. I grabbed the flared. Okay, I grabbed the flared, and basically what I did here was I just pleated the flared on the sleeve. Okay, I'm going to make 3 pleats on this sleeve. So the first pleat was at the top part of this sleeve. It took me a while. Like this sleeve took me like 2 hours, especially that I was still recovering from not being well. You guys, this was supposed to be my birthday dress. I couldn't even make it to the studio. Okay, so after making the first pleat, I went ahead to make the second pleat. Now this is where we need that 10 inches mark we did. Okay, this is where I used it. Around the middle part of my sleeve. I just took it slow and steady and I pleated it. I was telling you guys something. I didn't make it to the studio for my birthday because I was sick. Okay, those pictures you guys saw, I did my makeup myself. I set my phone at home on my tripod and I just snapped those pictures because a win is a win. I will not allow the devil. I was making this dress when I fell sick. Like I was sewing and I started feeling feverish and I had to stop sewing. Anyways, Chukwueze, God is king, and today I'm here doing voiceover for you guys. So you guys, I just took my time to make this pleat. It actually took me a while because I wanted it to be exaggerated. I wanted you guys to feel the whole fluid, the whole zazz, the whole charade, the whole zuzu. See, I'm having fun in this voiceover. Anyways, you guys, I took my time to make pleats on the middle part. I don't even know why when I was editing I didn't take a lot of this out, but anyways, you guys should enjoy the process. Okay, so after pleating the middle part, I also went ahead to pleat the bottom. Okay, the hem of the flared, I went ahead to pleat it on the hem of the sleeve. Okay, now this video, I didn't say it in the beginning, but this video is more like a sew along. It's not a tutorial, it's like a tutorial sew along, so I'm not giving in-depth details. Just watch and learn. Okay, so same thing I did for the top and for the middle. I went ahead to pleat it. Now I made big pleats because this is a flared, you don't want anything to remain. So after making all the big pleats, you can see how beautiful it looks. Okay, you can see how beautiful it looks. I love how it turned out. I forgot to tell you guys that I cut also lining pieces for this sleeve with the fabric itself. Okay, so I just used the lining piece to turn over the sleeve and gave it a top stitch both at the top and at the bottom. Then I went ahead to join the sleeve in by the side. Okay, I joined the sides of this sleeve, and you guys, this is what we have here. Look at what the sleeve is looking like. It's giving drama, and that is what I love. So I went ahead and I grabbed my gown. Okay, my voice is coming down because I'm tired. I grabbed my gown and I attached my sleeve to my gown. Okay, now because this is an off shoulder, you guys should note that when I was sewing, I came down by 1 inch from my bust point because this is an off shoulder bustier, so we need the length to properly insert the sleeve. So after securing with a pin to the gown, I went ahead to join my sleeve to the gown. Now after joining my sleeve to the gown, this is what the blank gown looks like. Okay, I was supposed to put boning in the middle, but I didn't put boning in the middle. But a very good padded bra will get rid of that gap in the middle. Okay, that's, you know, that thing you are seeing in the middle there. Yeah, a good padded bra will get rid of it. So I used my sequin, my sand bead to create this very beautiful pattern on the gown. It's just so amazing how little designs here and there can transform your gown from basic to extravagant. You guys, I really enjoyed sewing this gown, but I did not enjoy the beading process. In fact, I was not the one who did 90% of the beading process. I just showed her what I wanted and did a little beading here and there, and she completed the rest. I'm really excited because this is my first time creating an original design and it came out so beautiful. Thank you so much for watching.